But just, you know, for me, it's not about, like, for what Chad said, it's not about the plug. I don't care about the plug. It's about the testimony. What has God done in your life? And so Flint, and you shared once or twice, and I remember asking you at GSK graduation first year to share your testimony because it was so profound to me that some of y'all have, for our students, they have these stories, and Joanna did it to me too, like the last day, to like, something majorly happened in their life and they didn't say it until like the last day of class, and you're like, like, how could you hang on to that for months? Like, oh my gosh, like, that seriously happened. You're like, why didn't you tell me? Because, like, just, you know, as leaders, you have those days where you're like, am I making any impact in anyone's life? Like, am I doing anything right in life? And over here, people are like a total breakthrough and freedom, and they're just, blah, blah, blah. So anyway, it encourages leaders when you tell them how awesome they are, okay? Even though they are awesome, they don't always think that they are because they have their own struggle, insecurities, stuff like that, okay? So Flint, just what's the Lord done in your life, and just, you know, just give a testimony of God's goodness and what He's done in your heart the past year and a half.
Thanks. What I want to do is auction off Timothy Berry by the pound, right? I think that would be a real blessing. So, I didn't plan on this. You know, everybody has a calling, and my calling seems to be telling stories. All right? And for me, that's how God shows me His love. And He's shown up in some mighty, mighty big ways. And it's amazing. Even most recent, let me share most recent. And there's a chance that you also have been some of the first people that believed in my gifting. My gifting is a little unusual, right?
Oh, yeah.
And you said, hey, as long as you're pursuing Christ, when it happens, I'm all for it, right? I knew these were my folks, right? There's so many, and I'm glad Joanna here and her father's here. I want to tell that story, right? I had a minor, I met Timothy 2 years ago, right? The starting, January, and school started September 13th. I couldn't wait. I mean, I waited a long time to go to ministry school. Yeah. August 31st, I had a minor surgery. Not a big deal until it developed staph infection. September 12th at midnight, my incision blew open with a staph infection. I'm supposed to be at school tomorrow. I waited since January, right? I don't know about you, but staph infection really scared me. I developed a blood clot in my PICC line, and I didn't think I was getting out of the hospital. I have to be honest with you, I was scared. Right? Jody and people came and loved on me and Shelly. It was a scary time for me. A friend of mine had the same surgery, caught an infection, he died at Kuya Delta. So I'm scared. Same surgery. And it's really hard going back to the same place that made you sick to make you better. Right. You had a shot, you didn't do so good, right? Yeah. So that was a trial. So I'm supposed to be in class, and I called Timothy and I mentioned, listen, most people think, you probably think I'm out fishing, if you know me. I'm not. I'm in the hospital, and if you need to drop me from the curriculum, that's what I expected, I get it. So I inquired, right? So I'm not used to people loving on me like this. I mean, my brother and his beautiful wife here, they love on me like that, but in general, I just assumed they were going to drop me from the class. You haven't been here for a month, that's my expectations. And Mr. Berry says, well, let me ask the students to see what they want to do. And I still expected to get dropped from the class. Jason Bernardo, I wish he was here so I could thank him again publicly. Have you ever heard why Jason said what he did? I don't know. I'll tell you. Right? So when Mr. Berry says, hey, there's a guy in the hospital, he wants to know if we should drop him from the class, and Jason Bernardo says, if that's the only problem, why don't we just take the ministry school to him? Yeah. Right? Is that right, Kevin?
That's correct, sir.
Joanna's father came. Joanna came to the hospital and loved on me. They sang and prophesied. Jason anointed me with oil, and they loved on me. Right? We don't want to drop you from the class. We want you to get better. They brought me the books, the homework, so I didn't get caught up. When I got out, I stepped into school, and we graduated last May. Right? So that's the love I got in the beginning from Garden School of Kingdom Ministry. And I so thank you so very, very much. And I love you and Jesus. You've been a big part of my life. Most recently, there's so many stories. This one's important. And it's a little personal, but I'm going to tell it anyway, just real quick. All right? So there's a guy at my church, one of the churches I went to recently, and he looks identical to my father. Identical. And my hackles went up because I had some hard feelings, right? And And I asked somebody, who is that man? And he said, that is one of the nicest men you'll ever meet. Right? So I went and asked this guy if I could borrow him. Richard Holiday. And it was at the Road Church. Right? I asked him, do you mind if I borrow you? And he said, what? And so I told him the story, and he said, we're best friends. We're inseparable. So Richard and I had become friends. Richard had a grandson that had some trouble here in Fresno. He, on PTSD, unfortunately, he injured a few people during one of his episodes. And I was with Richard when he got the news. He hit the ground with a stroke that fast. We got into Cuya Delta, and, they're telling him, hey, we're going to give him the shot, but there's a 50-50. They're touching his left arm, asking him what area of the body are they touching. His leg would go up. I mean, he was on his way out. They gave him the shot, saved him, and they needed to do, he had 95% blockage in his carotid arteries, right? I'm scared. It takes 2 weeks before they can actually do the surgery to remove the blockage in his neck. So we're scared. I'm there every day with his wife, loving on him, and scared. I'm going to lose my buddy, right? So the day they come get him, to take him in to do the carotid artery, clean him out, right? I stepped out of the room and said, listen, the gurney's waiting for him. I asked his wife, I'll give you a few minutes. And I came back in the room, and I said, Terry, his wife, would you mind praying for Richard before they take him in? And she said, we just discussed that. He wants you to do it.
Yeah.
And oh my gosh, I was a little nervous, but I love this guy. And I prayed for God's will over Richard. We need him at home. His grandson needs him. His wife needs him. I need him. But God, if it's your will, we just love him. I told Chastity one time it wasn't me, and she said, if you say that again, it was you. He chose you for this moment. He created you in his image, right? It is you. And a partnership with our Father, right? So Richard got in surgery 8 minutes. The doctor comes out and says, listen, I thought we got the wrong side, so we went to the other side of his neck. Long story short, Richard went home the next morning with 0 blockage in his carotid artery. Richard had that. So going from that, it's okay to be me. The school has allowed me to know what a father's love feels like.
Yeah.
Right?
Amen. Yeah.
That's new. Right? Yeah. So most recently, that was a while back. Most recently. And I love this. This is how, and it seems like a small, insignificant thing, but I love the ripple effect of even this weekend. Yeah. The ripple effect, how it affects and touches other people's lives. Yeah. Right? So, of all places, I went to, and Jody, I've shared this story before, Mike, Lisa, sorry. I went to Matthew's Bible and I bought A Case for Christ. I've watched it 15 times from the red box, but I went and bought it. And the ladies behind the counter at a Christian bookstore in Marseille they both said, we'd really like to watch that movie. So I tried to give it to them. And I'm sorry, we can't do that, that's not. I said, I know Harry the owner, he'll be okay with it. And they said, no, we can't take the movie. Fair enough, so I go home, and the next morning I wake up, and I know intuitively, you gotta go back. That's what I hear, you gotta go back with empathy. So I go back, bought the same movie again, I paid for it. She's like, what's up with you in this movie? I said, listen, would you allow me to bless you, please? Yeah. When you're done, will you pass it to her? And when she's done, bless somebody else. I'm finding that people don't have an issue if you offer to bless them as opposed to buy something for them. What are you up to? What's your motive? So they take the movie, right? And I go back, and it was Christmas time. I went to buy Christmas cards for the family, and I love the movie Do You Believe? It plays out the ripple effect in 12 people's lives. Good and bad choices they made, but it plays out how it affects other people. I love that movie. So not only do I buy Christmas cards, I bought Do You Believe? And the ladies behind the counter, the same one, said, what's up with you in movies? And I said, the ripple effect in this movie gets played out. I love that, because we never get to see the effect we have on people's lives, right? So the lady behind the counter says, let me tell you the ripple effect of you buying that movie for us. And that's, the second lady said, my husband, and you wouldn't expect this in a Christian bookstore, my husband's the last one I ever thought would watch this movie with me. She paused and she said, he watched the movie with me. He recommitted his life to Christ, right? He hasn't missed a Sunday at church, right? He's journaling every night, and he's joined a Max Lucado Buddy Bible study at our church. So that's the ripple effect obedient to the call of Christ, right? Just being obedient. You gotta go back. I'm willing to do that. Let me just share this and I'll stop. One of the most profound experiences I've ever had, and I'm going to tell you my part in the story, but it's not because I'm trying to give myself glory. The glory goes to God, right? But I have a passion for animals. I'm a dog lover. I'm a dog whisperer, and I don't mind that. Once they realize you love them and they trust you, they'll do anything you ask, right? So I found a calling in feeding treats to homeless people's dogs, right? If the dogs will let you in, they will let you in, right? And they're the best judge of people judging them on the planet, right? So I was a little uneasy at first. It took Darren, the first guy, almost a month and a half before he would look at me, right? But his dogs, he's like, hey, they're going to take your arm off. What's it? They're my buddies. I bring him dog treats, and he's when I asked Darren, he said, these treats are really good. And I said, well, I'm really glad your dogs like them. And he said, no, they're really tasty. So, talk about break your heart, right? But it makes me more passionate about what I'm about to tell you. So, in my prayer and my meditation in the morning, I'm inquiring about the homeless folks and their dogs. And Christ, and someday we'll have to do an exercise on this, but what Christ said to me was, when you can see me in them, they'll be able to see me in you, right? And I don't know if you've ever tried that before. I know it sounds tomorrow or tonight. Look at somebody in the eyes and see what God sees. There's only one of you on the planet, for God's sake, right? And He gives gifts according to your heart. I love that, right? So look at somebody in the eyes just for a second. I'm an auctioneer, so I'm used to sizing people up. Unfortunately, I didn't do so well today at lunchtime. That's another story. I gave the check back to the guy. Didn't go so well. But when you can see Christ in other people, regardless of where they're at in their life, see His handiwork, not where they're at the moment, but see their potential, they'll look at you and be like, they know you're looking at what Christ sees. Love them like Christ would. There's only one of them in the world. With their fingerprints, with their heart. One in the whole universe. There's only one of them. So when you look at them like Christ would, they will respond, right? So when you can see Christ in others, they'll be able to see Christ in you. Was probably the most profound thing I've ever experienced. It changed the course of my life. So I had too many more stories, but I want to tell you that not only Chastity School, life-changing for me. It's okay to be me. My gifting, it's okay. Right, Chastity, I love you. You know that, right? And Jody, if it wasn't for you, we wouldn't have this, right? So it's a big deal. Thank you guys so much. I feel blessed and honored to be here. Thank you so very, very much.